Elohor, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I am losing myself. I have tried to talk to you, to make you understand, but nothing has changed. What are you saying? Elohor asked, her voice trembling. I'm saying that it's better to be alone than to feel suffocated, Tega said, standing up. I need some space to breathe. I am leaving. In the heart of the lush green landscapes of the Delta region in Nigeria, there was a vibrant village called Oviri. Known for its bustling markets, festive dances, and close-knit community, Oviri was a place where tradition and modernity danced together. Among the many families that lived there was one that stood out, the family of Elohor and Tega. Elohor was a striking woman with a commanding presence. Her beauty was matched by her sharp mind and strong will. She managed her household with an iron fist, making sure everything was perfect, down to the last grain of rice. Tega, her husband, was a gentle and hard-working man. He loved Elohor deeply, admiring her strength and determination, though sometimes he wished she would be less strict. The couple had been married for 7 years. In that time, Elohor had taken on the roles of wife, mother, and businesswoman with relentless energy. She had built a thriving business selling handcrafted jewelry, a skill passed down from her grandmother. Tega, on the other hand, worked as a teacher in the local school, a job he loved because it allowed him to inspire young minds. Despite their success, their home was not always happy. Elohor's need for control affected every part of their lives. She planned Tega's day down to the minute, often leaving him feeling like a small part in her well-run machine. She told him what to wear, what to eat, and even whom he could befriend. Though Tega tried to express his discomfort, Elohor ignored his concerns, believing she knew what was best for their family. One sunny afternoon, as the golden rays of the sun filtered through the banana leaves, Tega decided to address the growing tension. He approached Elohor, who was busy sorting through new beads for her latest designs. Elohor, we need to talk, Tega began, his voice steady but soft. Elohor barely glanced up. What is it, Tega? I am very busy, she said, her fingers deftly arranging the colorful beads. Tega took a deep breath. I feel like I don't have a say in our lives anymore. You make all the decisions, and I feel like I'm just following orders. Elohor sighed and looked up at him. Tega, you know I only want what is best for us. Someone has to take charge, and I am good at it. But I also want to feel like I am part of this family, Tega said, his eyes pleading. I want to make decisions too, to share in the responsibilities. Elohor paused, a flicker of uncertainty crossing her face. I will think about it, she said, turning back to her beads. Days turned into weeks, and though Elohor tried to soften her approach, old habits died hard. She still found herself taking control, believing she was doing the right thing for her family. One evening, a significant event occurred that shook Elohor to her core. Tega came home later than usual, looking exhausted and troubled. He sat down heavily at the kitchen table, and Elohor, sensing something was wrong, sat across from him. What happened? She asked, concern evident in her voice. Tega sighed deeply. Today at school, one of my students, little Runo, was very upset. His father is very strict and controlling, and Runo feels he can never do anything right. He told me he feels like he's suffocating. Elohor listened quietly, a knot forming in her stomach. Tega continued, It made me think about us, Elohor. I love you, but sometimes I feel like Runo. I feel like I'm suffocating under your control. The words hit Elohor hard. She realized she had been so focused on running everything smoothly that she had overlooked Tega's feelings. Tears welled up in her eyes as she reached across the table to take his hand. I'm sorry, Tega, she whispered. I never wanted to make you feel this way. I was just trying to do what I thought was best. Tega squeezed her hand gently. I know, Elohor, but we are a team. We need to work together and support each other. Elohor nodded, determination lighting her eyes. She promised herself that she would change. She tried, but it wasn't easy to let go of the control she was so used to. Despite her efforts, old habits crept back in, and Tega's frustration grew. One day, Tega didn't come home after school. Elohor waited, worry gnawing at her. When he finally walked through the door, he looked more serious than she had ever seen him. Tega, where have you been? I was worried, she exclaimed. Tega sat down, avoiding her gaze. Elohor, I can't do this anymore. I feel like I am losing myself. I have tried to talk to you, to make you understand, but nothing has changed. What are you saying? Elohor asked, her voice trembling. I'm saying that it's better to be alone than to feel suffocated, Tega said, standing up. I need some space to breathe. I am leaving. Elohor felt her world shatter. Tega, please don't do this. We can work it out, she begged. I have tried, Elohor, I really have. But I need to find myself again, he said, his voice breaking. With that, Tega walked out of the door, leaving Elohor alone in their house. The silence was deafening. She realized, too late, that her need for control had cost her the one person she loved the most. Elohor sat in their once bustling house, now eerily quiet, the weight of Tega's absence pressing down on her. Days turned into weeks, and Elohor found herself drifting through her daily routines in a daze. The vibrant colors of her beads seemed dull, the joy of her business faded. The village of Oviri buzzed on, but for Elohor, time stood still. Tega had moved to a small house on the outskirts of the village. He spent his days teaching and his evenings in solitude, reflecting on the past years. Though he felt a sense of relief being away from Elohor's constant control, he also felt a deep sadness, missing the woman he had fallen in love with. One evening, as Elohor walked through the market, she overheard two women talking about Tega. They spoke of how he looked unhappy, how the spark in his eyes seemed to have dimmed. Hearing this broke Elohor's heart. She realized she had not only lost her husband, but had deeply hurt him. Determined to change, she sought advice from her mother, Omo, a wise woman who had seen much in her lifetime. Mother, Tega has left me. I was too controlling and now he's gone. What do I do? Elohor asked, tears streaming down her face. Omo sighed, placing a comforting hand on her daughter's shoulder. My child, love is about balance. You must learn to listen and to share control. It is not too late to change, but you must show Tega that you are sincere. With her mother's words echoing in her mind, Elohor set out to prove she had changed. She started small, seeking to reconnect with the community in a new way. She joined the village women in their daily activities, learning to work as part of a team rather than a leader. She listened more, spoke less, and found joy in the simple act of being part of a group. One day, she decided to visit Tega. She walked to his house, her heart pounding. When he opened the door, he looked surprised to see her. Elohor, what are you doing here? He asked, his voice tinged with caution. I came to see you, Tega. I have been doing a lot of thinking, and I realize how much I hurt you. I am truly sorry, she said, her eyes welling up with tears. Tega looked at her for a long moment, then stepped aside to let her in. They sat together in the small living room, the silence heavy between them. I have been trying to change, to be a better person. I know it will take time, but I want to prove to you that I can be different, she said, her voice trembling. Tega nodded slowly. Change is not easy, Elohor. It takes time and effort, but I appreciate that you are trying. Over the next few months, Elohor worked hard to rebuild their relationship. She gave Tega the space he needed, yet showed him through her actions that she was committed to changing. She sought counseling from elders in the village and attended sessions with Tega, where they both expressed their feelings openly. Slowly, Tega began to see the changes in Elohor. She was more patient, more willing to listen and share responsibilities. They started spending more time together, talking about their hopes and dreams. The bond they once had began to rekindle, but it was a slow and cautious process. One evening, as they sat under the stars, Tega turned to Elohor and said, "I see the effort you have made and I appreciate it. I want us to try again, but we must build our relationship on mutual respect and understanding." Elohor's heart swelled with hope. "I promise, Tega, I will continue to work on myself and I will always respect you and your feelings." They embraced, the warmth of their love slowly returning. It was the beginning of a new chapter for them, one built on a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Though the road ahead was long, Elohor was determined to walk it with Tega, hand in hand, ready to face whatever challenges came their way. Several years passed, and as Elohor and Tega sat in their garden, watching the sun set over the rolling hills, Tega took her hand in his. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" he said, his voice filled with warmth. Elohor nodded, tears of gratitude in her eyes. "Yes, we have, and I am so grateful for your patience and your love." Tega smiled. "I am proud of you, Elohor. You have shown great strength and humility in changing for the better. I love you now more than ever." Elohor leaned into him, feeling the deep connection they had rebuilt. "I love you too, Tega. Thank you for giving us a second chance." Their relationship continued to grow, rooted in mutual respect and love. They faced challenges together, always remembering the lessons they had learned during their time apart. Elohor learned that true strength lies not in control but in partnership, understanding, and love. The moral of their story is clear. Relationships thrive on mutual respect and understanding. Control and dominance can suffocate love, but humility, patience, and the willingness to change can breathe new life into it. Elohor and Tega's journey teaches us that it's never too late to change, and that true love is built on a foundation of equality and shared responsibility.